After the divorce, I received a large sum of money from an unknown source and a safe filled with my photos. On the back of each photo was written, "May Emily Smith be safe and smooth." The signature was Michael Johnson, the name of my ex-husband's older brother, who had recently died of liver cancer. I was reborn into the day our two families agreed to an arranged marriage. When choosing a spouse again, I didn't hesitate to point to the man in the corner whose eyes had been fixed on me the entire time. I choose him. Laughter filled the private dining room. The woman across from me smiled warmly. "Emily, which of our boys do you like?" I snapped back to reality and scanned the room. Wasn't this the place where the Smith and Johnson families had negotiated the marriage 8 years ago? The sense of reality was so strong I could hardly believe it. I pinched myself, the sharp pain confirmed it wasn't a dream. Before I could answer, a voice that made my skin crawl spoke up. "Emily and I are truly in love. Please trust me with her, Mr. and Mrs. Smith." It was David Johnson, the youngest son of the Johnsons and the spouse I'd chosen in my past life. I'd thought we were in love, so I'd chosen him without hesitation. But after marriage, his true colors emerged. He gave me the silent treatment, stayed out all night, and bluntly admitted he'd married me for the Smith family's resources. I spiraled into a mental breakdown and tried to divorce him multiple times, but he refused. Eventually, Smith Corp was ruined, my father fell into a depression and was hospitalized, and only when I was no longer useful did David sign the divorce papers. Just when I hit rock bottom, a large sum of money appeared in my bank account. A man claiming to be Michael Johnson's assistant approached me with a safe. "Before leaving," he said, "this contains Mr. Johnson's most precious possession in the world. The password is your birthday. Please open it, Ms. Smith." I guessed where the money might have come from but couldn't fathom why. Curious, I opened the safe. It was filled with photos of me, from childhood to my marriage. Each had the same message, "May Emily Smith be safe and smooth." David had once mentioned that his brother had an unrequited first love. A bold thought struck me. Michael and I had only met 3 times, at the marriage negotiation, my wedding, and his funeral. How could he possibly like me? "Emily, say something." My mom's voice pulled me from my thoughts. Looking at David's confident smirk, I turned cold and pointed at Michael, sitting in the shadowed corner. "I choose him." "Excuse me?" The room gasped, but David reacted most violently, slamming his hand on the table as he stood. "I said, I choose Michael Johnson." I looked directly at him, enunciating each word so he'd understand. I'd felt his intense gaze from the start but hadn't paid it much mind. Now I knew it was him. Michael's eyes flickered with surprise, but he quickly composed himself. His red ears betrayed his calm facade. He pushed his gold-rimmed glasses and studied me seriously. "Miss Smith, marriage isn't a game. I only intend to be widowed, not divorced. Please think carefully." "I couldn't agree more," I said without hesitation. "Emily, are you sure? I thought you and David." Mrs. Johnson tried to reason with me, but I cut her off. In my past life, I'd begged her for help while David tortured me. Every time, she'd say, "David works so hard, just be patient." But patience only led to worse abuse. Swallowing my grief, I said, "No need to persuade me. I choose Michael." "I object." David snapped, but a look from Mr. Johnson silenced him. I knew he had a temper. He'd yelled at me even before we married. How could I have been so blind to his cruelty? "His opinion doesn't matter," I said, glancing past David to meet Michael's deep gaze. "Does Mr. Johnson agree?" He checked his watch. "The civil registry is still open. Would you like to go now, Ms. Smith?" "Absolutely." My father, silent until now, looked at me with reluctance. At least this would settle the matter between our families. With both sets of parents' approval, I followed Michael out of the room. His tall, straight posture gave even a simple black trench coat an air of elegance. His long strides were so purposeful they seemed to sweep the air. In the car, Michael didn't start the engine right away. His expression was solemn, his knuckles white as he gripped the steering wheel. Where would you like to go? I'll drive you. I paused, confused. Aren't we going to the registry office? His voice was low, his eyes avoiding mine. Aren't you just saying this out of spite? Realizing his misunderstanding, I waved my hands urgently. No. I'm serious about marrying you. In my memory, Michael was a ruthless business tycoon, cold, proud, and distant. After my previous marriage, David had taken over the domestic business while Michael expanded overseas. But today, I saw his vulnerable side. I remembered how, in my past life, he'd left me a fortune and locked my photos in a safe. My heart ached with curiosity. Mr. Johnson, why did you agree to marry me? He started, his dark eyes flickering with emotion. Because. Can I tell you later? Okay. I'd been both eager and terrified to hear his answer. Now that he wanted to wait, it felt like waiting for a lottery result only to have the power cut before the last number. But we were still strangers, I wouldn't pressure him. There would be time. At the registry office, I hesitated. Memories of my past marriage flooded back, haunting me with fear. Michael, noticing I'd stopped, turned around. His expression fell, his eyes dim. He was like a proud, insecure puppy, sensitive and unexpressive. I felt guilty and tried to explain, but he spoke first. You still have a chance to back out. Marriage is for life. If you don't want to marry me, I'll take you home now. For life, the word sounded so much more reassuring coming from him. I jogged up and linked my arm with his. The office is closing, Mr. Johnson. Let's go in. Within 5 minutes, we had our marriage certificates. Michael stared at the red book, a faint smile on his lips. I couldn't believe it. Was this really a second chance? Mr. Johnson, I need to go home. Of course. I'll take you. If you don't want to live with me yet, that's fine. His puppy eyes were back, all it took was one sentence for him to imagine the worst. You're coming with me. I need help moving some things. Okay. After packing some clothes and saying goodbye to my parents, I followed Michael to his villa. The exterior was simple yet elegant, the interior decorated in warm wood tones that suited his refined demeanor. I caught a whiff of fresh pine. If you don't like the decor, I can have it changed tomorrow, he said, misinterpreting my silence. No, I love it. I paused. Where's my room? I added quickly, afraid he'd overthink. We just got married and don't know each other well. I think we should have separate rooms for now. We have all the time in the world to build our relationship. He nodded and carried the boxes upstairs without a word. As he passed me, I thought I heard him mumble, "You can call me Michael, you know." I smiled at his shyness. Who would have guessed a dominant CEO could be such a romantic? You're nothing without the Smiths, he sneered. Those girls out there are way more fun than you. Act pure now? Just play with my boys for a while. I knelt on the floor, begging, David, please leave me and the Smiths alone. Hands reached for me, tearing at my clothes. No, no. I jolted awake with a thunderclap, gasping for breath. The near collapse of Smith Corp in my past life was a shadow that haunted me forever. David had no heart, he'd offered me to his friends like a toy. Thank God my best friend, Chloe, had rushed in to save me half naked. Wiping the sweat from my brow, I steeled my resolve. This time, David would feel my pain. But I couldn't take on the Johnsons alone. If Michael helped, things might be easier. That was one reason I'd chosen this marriage. Thunder roared outside, keeping me awake. Thirsty, I decided to grab water and explore Michael's villa. To my surprise, I saw light under the study door. Michael was still up, holding a photo, his gentle eyes filled with love. It was 4 a.m. Staying up like this couldn't be healthy. Wait, Michael had died of liver cancer in my past life. Was it from staying up late? I burst in, forgetting manners. Michael, go to bed, staying up late is bad for you. He jumped, scrambling to stuff photos into the safe. Realizing my bluntness, I softened my tone. Sorry, I just mean it's late, and you have work tomorrow. But he kept smiling, a rare, unguarded smile. Okay, I'll finish putting these away. He added our marriage certificate to the safe. The safe, just like the one in my past life. This is his most precious possession. The assistant's words echoed. Now I knew why he'd married me. But when had he fallen for me? Why me? Did I deserve this love? What's on your mind? Did the thunder scare you? His gentle questions unraveled me. Before I could think, I blurted, yes. I want you to stay with me. Okay, he said without hesitation. On the way to his room, I wanted to kick myself. I'd insisted on separate rooms, and now this? What must he think of me? Unreliable? Flaky? The room took my breath away, red decorations everywhere, a double happiness symbol on the headboard, and sunflowers by the bed. Michael had turned it into a wedding suite. If I'd stayed in my room, I'd have missed this. He blushed, fidgeting with his shirt. The housekeeper did this afternoon. I didn't know what to say. I'd married him out of guilt and strategy. I didn't deserve his love. Misunderstanding my silence, he said, you take the bed. I'll stay by your side. All I could manage was a whisper, thank you. I slept soundly that night, nightmare-free. When I woke, only the housekeeper and a maid were cleaning. Miss Johnson, you're even prettier than in the photos, the maid gushed. The housekeeper shot her a look, but the maid went on, Mr. Johnson shows us your photos all the time. He smiles when he looks at them, he really loves you. The housekeeper facepalmed, but then he added, there's a sunflower garden in the backyard. He planted it himself, I think for you. Want to see? I teared up looking at the sunflowers, the symbol of silent love. They followed the sun loyally, just like Michael had followed me. I called him, voice trembling, Michael, I need to see you. On my way, honey, he said softly. I heard someone call Mr. Johnson in the background, he was busy, and here I was, bothering him. Never mind, just work first, I said, hanging up. I sat in the garden until footsteps sounded behind me. Expecting Michael, I turned with a smile, only to freeze. Emily, David purred. The sound of my name on his lips made me want to vomit. What do you want? Why are you ignoring me? Did I do something wrong? He grabbed at me, trying to pull me close. I struggled, stepping back into a ditch. I stumbled forward, falling into his arms, right as I saw a tall figure in the distance. By the time I steadied myself, he was gone. David rambled on, you still love me, don't you? Love? I wanted to kill him. I'm married to Michael. Leave me alone. Shoving him off, I ran inside, ignoring the pain in my ankle. From upstairs came the sound of smashing glass. Michael's assistant met me at the door. Mrs. Johnson, the boss is unstable. I called the doctor. Please stay back, he might hurt you. I shook my head. He's my husband. I'm not afraid. He was angry for me, he'd never hurt me. I was sure of it. I pushed open the door to a chaotic scene, broken objects everywhere, except for the sunflowers by the bed, untouched. Michael, his back to me, raised an object to throw. Get out, he snarled. The item was midair when his hand trembled, letting it whiz past me. I wasn't hurt, but Michael panicked, closing the distance between us in seconds. He reached out to check me, then pulled back, afraid I'd be angry. His wide, watery eyes pleaded with me, full of fear and vulnerability. Tell me why you're angry. Silence. Because you saw me with David? A small nod. He tried to touch me. I tripped and grabbed him by accident. There's nothing between us, understand? Another nod, the tension in his neck fading. I cupped his face. Promise you'll talk to me first next time, okay? Okay. Are you hurt? He held up his hand like a child. It hurts. No more of this. Amen. Outside, the doctor and assistant hugged in relief. Finally, someone can control the boss. A medical miracle. She's better than a sedative. I rolled my eyes. From the doctor, I learned Michael had bipolar disorder, formed by years of pressure as the eldest son. The Johnsons had demanded perfection from him, while David was free to do as he pleased. Before my last marriage, Michael ran the family's domestic business. Afterward, he built their international empire from scratch, always alone. My hatred for David grew. I wanted to put him in prison. He'd committed enough crimes, with evidence, I could destroy him. But I feared collateral damage to Michael and the family. I needed his input. During our evening walk, I asked, Michael, if you found a family member doing something wrong, what would you do? He stopped, locking eyes with me. His gaze softened. Whatever you decide, I'm with you. In the sunset's glow, surrounded by sunflowers, I stood on tiptoe and kissed him. He stiffened, then kissed back fiercely, taking control. When he finally pulled away, his voice was rough. Stop teasing me. I can't hold back. I nuzzled his chest. We could go to the bedroom. He lifted me bridal style, breath hot on my ear. Don't regret this. Never. The next morning, I woke at noon. Michael, usually an early riser, was still beside me. He pulled me close. Hungry? Starving, I croaked. He laughed at my hoarse voice. Annoyed, I kicked him. You're laughing? I'm sleeping in the guest room tonight. No, you're not. Gentle Michael was gone, now he was all smug confidence. Remembering his past liver cancer, I'd insisted on a full checkup. At breakfast, he smirked. Think I'm not up to the task? I nearly dropped my fork. No. I just want you healthy, to stay with me. All results are perfect. I can keep up with you. This man, who'd blushed at holding hands just weeks ago, was now relentless. After he left for work, I drove to David's bar, a front for his illegal dealings. I didn't remember the hidden room's location, so I had to lure him out. David, I'm outside. Be right there, baby. His voice was breathy, a woman's giggle in the background. Disgusting, how could he call another woman baby while holding her? He arrived within minutes, flushed. Emily, I've missed you. I stepped back instinctively, then forced a smile. I missed you too, David. Here's Michael's next project plan. I fought the urge to gag. Good girl. He took the USB, gripping my hand. As a low-level manager at Johnson Corp., he resented Michael's success. In my past life, I'd begged my father to give him Smith Corp projects. Now, without the Smiths, he was desperate, using me to take down Michael. I batted my lashes, tears in my eyes. I'm only nice to Michael for your future. I pushed you away because he was watching. I need to earn his trust for more files. You aren't mad, are you? His eyes lit up. Tomorrow, Michael's out of town. I'll take you to my club. Perfect. But I want to be part of your world now. He hesitated. Bar's no place for a lady, let's go somewhere else. Hypocrite. I'm not a kid. I want to be with you there. Fine, tomorrow. Don't be mad, baby. I hid my smirk. Michael will suspect if I'm gone too long. I have to go. He let me go, but not before asking, one kiss? Ugh, this sleazy guy has to gross me out one last time, I thought, forcing a smile through clenched teeth. David, you know I get shy in public. Tomorrow, I'll do whatever you want. I'll be waiting. The first thing I did when I got home was scrub my hands raw. Filthy. Disgustingly dirty. I ignored the bleeding, scrubbing harder until someone knocked on the bathroom door. Sweetheart, what's going on in there? It was Michael, I didn't expect him home early. Shit. He'll notice I'm upset. The knocking grew urgent. I'm fine, coming out now. My wounds were small, But of course, Michael noticed immediately. He took my hand, blowing gently on the scrapes. It actually helped. Did he do this? I couldn't meet his eyes. No, I hurt myself. Michael sighed, still blowing on my hand. I risked a glance at his face. Aren't you going to ask why I saw him? His eyes softened. I trust you. I just want you to lean on me. Share your burdens with me. The word lean broke me. Tears spilled over. Since the reincarnation, I'd been so afraid of repeating the past, of being vulnerable, of being abandoned. But Michael had always been there, pulling me back from the edge. I told him everything, about the reincarnation, my marriage to David, the near rape. I'd feared he'd judge me, but now I needed him to accept all of me. By the end, his eyes were red too. I'm sorry I wasn't brave enough to tell you sooner. I let you suffer. I wiped his tears. Thank God for second chances. His gaze turned icy. It's time to clean up this mess. I won't stop you, but let me handle it my way. Roger that. The next day, I arrived on time, heavy makeup, thick layers. Michael had forbidden dresses, even made me wear a jacket. David stared, confused. Emily, are you cold? I forced a smile. Just a cold. I'm chilly. He rolled his eyes. Who wears a t-shirt and jeans to a club? You'll warm up inside. He led me through 3 corridors to a hidden door, triggered by a dragon head handle. The dim room was filled with couples, openly making out. I fought back nausea. Guys, this is my girl, Emily Smith. Hot, right? He handed me a drink. Sticking to my sick act, I'm on antibiotics, can't drink. Then have juice. He shoved it at me. I pretended to hesitate. What's in it? He smirked, pushing me onto a couch. Just drink it, baby. The room cheered as he fumbled with his belt. I stayed calm. Chloe and Michael were outside. Right on cue, Chloe's voice boomed, "How dare you touch her, you piece of shit." David was kicked into the corner, bloodied. Michael rushed to me, crushing me in a hug. "You did this on purpose, didn't you?" he murmured. "Yep. I wanted you to worry." Chloe groaned, "Get a room, you two." "Thanks, Chloe." "Thanks? Then give me a god kid already. I'll train them too." Michael cut her off with a glare at David. "You've disgraced the family. I've handed evidence of your bribes and tax fraud to the police. You're done." David sputtered, "Dad will. Mom and Dad disown you. You're no brother of mine." As Chloe dragged him away, I finally breathed. It was over. Michael turned to me, soft again. "What's next, honey?" "Have a wedding and then have a baby." The wedding day arrived as scheduled. Michael had kept all details a secret, refusing to give even a hint. When the day finally came, I linked arms with my father, waiting for the grand doors to open. As the wedding march played, I gasped. The venue was flooded with sunflowers, arranged like a living oil painting. It matched the wedding in my past life perfectly, and I realized then that Michael had planned that one too. Tears poured down my face. How could I have been so blind to his love all those years? During his vows, Michael looked at me with tender adoration and shouted, "Honey, I wish you peace and happiness for the rest of your life, and the whole world should hear it." His childish enthusiasm made me laugh through my tears. I leaned in and whispered, "No, just you." He obediently bent down so only he could hear my next words, "You must live a long, healthy life." Epilogue. The patient's heartbeat stabilized. Blinking awake, I saw bright hospital lights. "Mr. Johnson, you're awake. The doctors said you had no will to live, but..." Wang Yang, always dramatic. Spending time with Emily had made me appreciate this chaos. "Where's my wife?" His smile vanished. He stared at the floor. "Mr. Johnson, you're not married." I would have laughed if I wasn't hooked up to an 4. "Don't be ridiculous, You know Emily. He glanced up, then down again. Miss Smith passed away from liver cancer a year ago. You attended her funeral. No. Impossible. I just held her, heard her tell me to live. My voice faded to a whisper. She married me. But as I spoke, reality crashed in. After discharge, I visited prison. Michael, I'm sorry. David wept, but his eyes held no regret. A year ago, I thought he was joking about Emily's death. Then I'd seen her coffin, his fake tears. That night, I caught him bringing another woman home. His smirk said it wasn't the first time. She's dead. What do you care? He'd sneered after I hit him. From Chloe, I learned the truth. David had trafficked Emily to his friends. No evidence, no justice. My sunflower, broken by this monster. For 6 months, I gathered proof of his fraud, bribes, tax evasion. Handed it all to Chloe. You destroyed her, I told him now. She'll never come back. But you'll rot here forever. That evening, I sat in the sunflower garden, tracing the spot where Emily had once cried. At 15, I'd met 10-year-old Emily in a hospital. She'd fallen at my feet, sunflowers spilling everywhere. Aren't you going to help me up? She demanded, hands on hips. I'd moved away, cold. She'd followed, insisting I was sick and needed sunflowers. The next day, she brought more. And the next. I started waiting for her, counting the days until rain kept her away. Then she stopped coming. I learned she was Emily Smith, daughter of my father's friend. Young love burned quietly. I watched her grow, too shy to speak. When our families arranged her marriage to David, my heart shattered. I'd planned their wedding, pretending it was mine. Before moving abroad, I'd secretly photographed her smile, the happiest I'd ever seen her. Now, a breeze rustled the sunflowers, wrapping around me like her embrace. David? I whispered. The wind seemed to sigh, thank you for loving me.